Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Jay Cruz and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to show you how I use the Emerson Em-Drive. You guys know the deal. Please do all of the things that help this channel grow. Hit the like button, comment below. Be sure to hit the bell notification button so you get notifications every single time I upload a video. Check out some of the affiliate links in the description box below as well. And if you want to donate directly to this channel, there's a link in the description box for you to do that. You can buy me a cup of coffee, whatever you'd like. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is the very first video since I've destroyed my pedal board here, so much so that you could probably see it in the frame. I have pedals just kind of sitting on my desk right now. I of course have the HX Stomp sitting here for all of my amps and maybe some reverb and delay that I turn on a little bit later. And then of course I have the Em-Drive here. This is a special pedal to me, one of those pedals that I've had in my possession for a very long time and never really felt the need to get rid of it or desire to get rid of it. One of the main reasons why I never got rid of it was because it was actually an always on pedal for me. That is until I started using the HX Stomp. And we'll get to why. This was always a tone shaping pedal for me, even though if you look at the pedal, there are no knobs that allow you to actually shape the tone. You get what you get with the pedal when it's plugged in. So this particular version doesn't have a tone knob. It doesn't have any mids or treble or bass to tweak. It is what it is, but there's something special about this pedal. The other cool thing about this pedal is that you can use it in a 9-volt feature or the 18-volt features, which is how I'm using it currently right now. I have it plugged into the 18-volt slot on my CS12 from True Tone. It's essentially supposed to give it a little bit more headroom, give you sort of this kind of more open, almost brighter sound in a lot of ways. It's definitely meant to be a transparent drive. It just kind of boosts my signal a little bit. I'm going to show you what that means. This may just be the shortest video I've ever made, but let's just check out the Em-Drive and see what it's all about. So first, let me show you my clean signal, no delays, no reverbs on, purely just guitar going straight into the amps in the HX Stomp. Please keep in mind, I have taken my pedal board apart, so I'm not using my typical setup of like compression and all that stuff. So this is purely guitar straight into the HX Stomp. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm having fun, I guess. It's giving me the freedom to do exactly what I essentially am doing right now, which is to review pedals, to review products without worrying about the setup and the pedal board and all that good stuff. So now let's turn on the Em-Drive so you can hear what it does. Now you have to listen very carefully. For some of you, you may not hear it, especially if you're listening through a phone. You're gonna have to really pay attention. I suggest hearing this with headphones. You're gonna hear it go from sort of like a little bit of a thinness that your typical single coil guitars would give you, or any guitar, any natural tone, and you're gonna hear a slight thickening with this particular setup that I have right now. Now, the other thing too is that this pedal immediately wants to boost your signal, and we'll talk about the downfall of that in a little bit. But so you have to sort of really kind of keep the volume low, especially if you want to add more gain. And I don't know, to my ears it adds very little gain, but let's go over it. As you can see, I have the gain boosted pretty good, but you're not going to hear much grit, if at all. So hopefully what you immediately heard was not only a thickening, but a slight even volume boost. Let's quickly turn the pedal off so you can hear the difference right away. Em-Drive on. So playing through this pedal immediately brings me right back to the reason why I fell in love with it to begin with. There is a very beautiful boosting thing that happens, but also a thickening in the signal. So oftentimes when playing single coil guitars, you look for just a little bit of thickness, a little bit of kind of not hair, but beefiness in your signal. And this pedal would give it to me every single time. Here's why it ended up coming off of my board though. The M-Drive is essentially boosting signal. It's essentially pushing signal in the way it's supposed to be doing, and it works really well with, for example, tubed amps. You want pedals to push tube amps. You want tubes pushed. It's going to give you a natural breakup. It's going to give you this sort of thickening thing. It's going to make the amp work harder, which essentially should make the amp sound better. The problem with pedals like this when going into amp simulators or products like the HX Stomp is that there is no pushing to happen with digital products. If you push, you will have digital clipping, which you don't want. That's not the same thing as like tube clipping. It's a very different thing. It's not going to sound good. It's going to sound more like gritty, distorted, peaking, and those are the signals that you want to stay away from, especially when going direct into a product like that. So for me, the M-Drive oftentimes was a little bit too aggressive. It was pushing my signal too aggressively because it was trying to do its job, and that's like push the signal to make things sound better. But when you're working with digital products, pushing may not always be the right thing. And so I ended up having to lower my signal a lot, and I wasn't feeling it going through a digital product, but going through a tube amp, however, is probably where it shined. But I found a little bit of a sweet spot right now where I'm like, man, it sounds good even through the HX Stomp. So I'm loving it. I'm digging what I'm hearing so far. So now I want to quickly show you what this thing would sound like with reverbs and delays, just so you could hear how even with playing clean, essentially, it is clean. There's a tiny bit of hair behind it, but it's not like aggressive. So this pedal could be an always on thing, which is how I would typically use a pedal like this. So let me show you what that sounds like. Now this product, again, I really want to emphasize that it was an always on pedal for me, and I felt comfortable using it with any pickup selection. So right now I've been in the middle pickup utilizing both pickups on my Telecaster, but let's go to the neck pickup so you can hear what that sounds like on its own. The bridge pickup. Now with the bridge pickup, I want you to pay attention to something. I'm going to turn the pedal off really quickly. I want you to hear how kind of thin it sounds and almost like non-existent, non-supportive in my opinion. Back on. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it. That's the M-Drive in a nutshell. This is not one of those pedals that I could honestly I don't need to sit here all day and show you anything. That's the sweet spot for me, that particular setting. I'm sure if you tweak the knobs, you'll get different things happening. Like I said, when I have this thing going into like an amp of some sort, I mean, I can push that volume a little bit, but then I feel very insecure when I take that pedal off because the volume boost sounds so good. It sounds so full, which is probably why I ended up leaving it always on. In fact, I remember how I turned it into an always on pedal. For a long time, it was on my board as a boost, just a boost, so I would turn it on for solos. One time I took a solo and forgot to turn it back off, and I'm like, man, my signal sounds so good. And then I looked down and realized the M-Drive was on this whole time. So I've been using it like that ever since. Even though it ended up coming off of my board, I think it was just because it was just pushing my HX Stomp signal a little too aggressively when I first got the HX Stomp, and it was part of my solution. But now that I know more about how to manipulate the HX Stomp, I feel like I can easily put this pedal back on a pedal board and have it running through the pedal board like I used to have it, and just give me the exact same thing, that tonal chunkiness that I've sometimes I miss with single coil guitars. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you dig this pedal. This is a pedal that you would easily throw on your pedal board. Do you feel like not having the ability to tweak its tone limits you in any kind of way? I thought it would until I tried it myself and realized, oh, this is just, it makes it better no matter what guitar you're using, no matter what your amp is set like. It'll make it sound good. It makes it sound just a tad bit fuller. So let me know what you think of it and some of the tones that you heard. You may not hear the difference. I really highly recommend that you put on some headphones to hear the tonal differences, because I think it's, I'm not going to say night and day, but for me, I was pleasantly surprised that it still made me smile when I put the pedal back on. So definitely a keeper, and it's never leaving my particular personal pedal collection that I've got going on right now. Guys, you know the deal. Please do all of the things that help this channel grow. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you can get an alert every single time I upload a video. Be sure to check out some of the affiliate links in the description box below. Every time you press on a link, it does help this channel even just a little bit. If you want to help this channel more directly, there is a direct link where you can donate to the channel directly. It goes straight to me, no middleman. Even if you just buy me a cup of coffee, I really appreciate it. My family appreciates it. Most of all, this channel appreciates it. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, every single week I'm trying to set this thing up. I recently kind of cleared some space here so I could have more room in front of the camera. I'm trying to do things every single week to make this channel better and better and better. I really am committed to growing this thing, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you have chosen to watch my channel and watch all of my videos. I appreciate you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Be sure to spread the word. Let your friends know that I exist and my channel exists, and I just would greatly appreciate that. Guys, thank you again, and until next week.